You are live with Dr. Chapa. Good morning, good day, whatever time it is. I know for some of you guys, the new year is off and rolling and you're already on a detox program with Dr. Aaron Chapa. And I'm excited that you are. For some of you, you're still kicking the tires and hopefully sooner rather than later, lighting those fires and getting yourself tuned up and ready to dial in. Tonight, I got a really, really exciting talk for you guys. So I love the topic of food. It is amazing to me the amount of doctors in the West that will pick on supplementation and they will never address food. Oh my gosh. And really, guys, if you don't get the food right, you're never going to get your health right. The accelerating aging curve is upon us all. And it's your life, your health, your choice. And tonight we're going to talk about making some better choices to get some of those toxins out of your cupboard, out of your pantry, out of your refrigerator, and get those things to the curb because that's where they belong. They are trash. Trash, trash. I think I spelled that right. It's late, dude, whatever. But anyway, I'm excited every week to come to you guys live and to teach you how to be better, stay better, and live better. We have all of our podcasts, all of these Monday night classes on our YouTube channel. You can sign up for our newsletter. I highly recommend you do so. There's so many great data points. The Lord has just been really flowing through me this last year, and I'm excited just to be bringing it. And it's up to you whether or not you dial in. It's self-selection, as one of my mentors always used to say. You choose. You show up. You get the benefit, and your life changes, and your family changes, and it's your plan. It's your 21st century healthcare plan. So the truth about toxins hiding in your pantry. That is tonight's talk. We're very excited to share this message with you because it's going to be one that is going to blow your mind. You're going to be so excited to see some of what is happening, but recognizing that some of this is also very intimidating because where does one start? I have people all the time tell me, well, I'll start when I get rid of all of this out of my pantry first. No. Some of this stuff is not worth finishing. It's just worth donating away and getting it out of your house or throwing it straight in the trash or simply making one small change that leads to one big health impact. Let this be a year. I had a patient over the last year has fought tooth and nail with some anxiety and depression and hormone dysregulation. They're on medications, and yet we still saw 15 pounds of weight loss over the course of the last 6 months. And they ain't doing it right. They're not doing it perfect. They're doing it one progressive step at a time. And that's what I like to try to tell people is you don't have to be perfect to be on the Dr. Chapa Wellness Plan. You just got to be always making tick degrees of change. And those small degrees lead to big impact. And I'm excited that tonight you're with me. And I'm hoping that you guys are just thrilled and ready. What do you hope to learn tonight? Or what do you already know tonight? Put it in the comments below. I want to hear, who am I talking to? How educated are you about this subject already? Because if you are, you're a part of the Trim Tab team that's going to go out and tell people what they can do because this matters. This information matters. And you don't need to a lab to be exposed to toxins. Like I was in a cadaver lab in my early studies for almost a year and a half doing not only my own classwork, but also the classwork of teaching as a TA, helping other students go through their learning experience. One, it deepened mine, but it also exposed me to more toxins. But you already have these toxins floating around your home. Oh my gosh. Here's a big kicker. Did you know that in the Iraqi war, we had this disease called Gulf War syndrome? And did you know that Coca-Cola gave away most, if not all, their sodas to the troops, and diet products that have a substance in it called aspartame turns into formaldehyde in the Saudi high heat temperatures? What in the heck? Some of those 110 degree plus temperatures were a breeding ground for taking formaldehyde or taking aspartame, converting into formaldehyde, and then unfortunately our troops, amongst the many other toxic exposures that they got access to through vaccines and through burn tanks and gosh knows whatever else maybe floating around on their MREs. The reality is this was not a contributing factor to their good health, their brain health. And so formaldehyde, guys, is not something that should be tampered with. This is not a household chemical we want. But yet, if you're drinking diet products, and it doesn't have to be Diet Coke, it could be any diet, light, sugar-free, oftentimes in your toothpaste and gum even. If it is in there, you're causing your body harm by contaminating your brain. These are hidden brain saboteurs. And if you want a healthy brain, then you've got to wake up to the truth that your body is forgetful, your brain is misfiring, your body is on the fast track to accelerated aging and inflammatory experiences that are unnecessary. If you want healthy energy levels, if you want healthy hormones, if you want your gut to balance out, your brain health and focus to be dialed in, then you have to recognize that these chemicals we're going to be talking about tonight, that they're all around our homes day in and day out, have to be dealt with. And that is the truth. So if you've got fatigue, if you've got brain fog, if you've got medications that you can't get rid of, if your body hurts, odds are you're toxic. And that is the truth that you've got to grab hold of. Check this out. What is in your pantry? It is products that have labels, lots and lots of words on labels. If you have a preservative shelf life in your pantry, as most Americans do, that have labels that look very similar to this one, and or if you have boxed cereals, which, by the way, did you know boxed cereals have more value nutrient density in the cardboard for which the box comes in than the actual cereal substance in the box? Don't do it. Don't fall for the tiger. Don't fall for the leprechaun. He doesn't have a pot of gold. He's got poison in his barrel, and he wants you to eat it. These are not nutrients. Your body doesn't want them. Make-believe food leads to make-believe health. Pantry toxins are chemicals on this label. If I had the ability to dial this label in and you see the immense amount of toxic waste, trash, and debris that's floating on the back of this label, you would be like, what in the world? Why would they let this in my food supply? Well, brain toxins and neurological disruptors that are on most of your food labels, enriched flour. If you see the word enriched flour, you need to recognize you're not being enriched. You're being robbed. If you see monoglycerides or diglycerides, these are industrial emulsifiers. They cause the blood-brain barrier to be disrupted. That is the protective lining between the blood and the brain. And you don't want fake chemicals getting across that membrane and contaminating and resting in your brain. That's why people get brain fog. When you see the word natural flavors, this is a legal loophole, by the way. It can, and oftentimes does, contain excitotoxins, solvents, lab-derived compounds that overstimulate your neurons to the point of death, early death. That's what is driving the accelerated aging curve. Modified food starch, highly processed, rapid glucose surging, blood sugar spiking, inflammatory disruptor. You want to be irrational, you want to be irritable, you want to be frustrated with where your health goals are heading, then these are the type of things that are on the label. Make-believe food leads to make-believe health. If you see things on the label like sodium alginate, it's an industrial thickener used in labs and is in textiles but it's a toxic substance in our food. Carrageenan, known as a gut irritant for many people. And calcium phosphate, a synthetic form of calcium that doesn't build strong bones. And in fact, it causes your body to disrupt other calcium, healthy calcium absorption rates from coming into balance. So you're becoming minerally depleted eating things like this. Or the often overlooked one that is in most, if not everything, citric acid, industrialized, often derived from black mold fermentation. One of my buddies, he likes to do Petri dish testing, and he'll have people scrape their dandruff, their eczema, their psoriasis. He'll have them spit in a Petri dish, and he'll grow stuff in his office. What? It's nasty. But at the end of the day, you'll see black mold coming right out of your own body. Are you kidding? Not kidding. This is happening. And these are inflammatory engines that you have to get under control. We got a lot more to talk about, but just to give you a quick little idea that your label is loaded with garbage. If it is not there to enhance, it is there to enhance the flavor. But when you have fake food, you do have to enhance the flavor. And that is something that you have to recognize. Why are those there? Because it's fake. And the only way you're going to eat fake food is if it tasted good. This page here, common symptoms people ignore. So this is how you know you have toxins. Many people normalize these and say, well, that's just common. Oh, my mom had those. Oh, my dad had those. Oh, my kid was born with that. Baloney Mahoney, man. Oftentimes these are developed and you have developed it, and anything your body can develop, it can undevelop. But when you see heartburn, indigestion, bloating, gas, constipation, restlessness, irritability, when you see nausea, feeling heavy or sick after normal sized portions, you feel like you're dependent on antacids and digestive aids. When your depression is set in so deep, you don't know how to get out of bed in the morning. Sleep disturbances that are making you have wicked, wild, bizarre, funky, exotic dreams. You go outside and you're like, woo, the sunshine. I'm scared of it. I need some big old thick glasses. Those are all indicators that your body is toxic. It's not handling healthy, normal processes day in and day out. So these are not a sign of healthy aging. As a matter of fact, these are a sign of why your body is toxic. And oftentimes, look in your pantry, look in your fridge, it's there. Oh, but goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Can you imagine going to the grocery store? Have you ever wondered why? Why do we go to health food stores? What do they sell at the normal big box store? And it makes you wonder. And the truth to be told is artificial preservatives are lurking on every aisle in your grocery store. That's why they always say shop what? Anybody know? What's the best area of the store to shop? Is it the inside aisles or is it the perimeter? I'll give you a hint. It starts with a P. Go ahead, put it in the comments. I want to see something. Perimeter, that's right. So toxins are always going to be in anything that's packaged. If it is a snack food, frozen food, if it's a breakfast food that even is marketed to you as healthified, I love that. Condiments and sauces, refrigerated ready meals. These are all food engineering plans to get you addicted to a new type of food, synthetic, inflammatory triggering, causing your body to act abnormally, symptomatically, and lead you to wonder, why do you have acid reflux? Why do you have indigestion? Why do you have to open up your belt loop and belt buckle to get home because you're bloated 10, 15, 20 minutes after a meal? I know it's happened to you. It's happened to me. We all have been on this road before, but isn't that interesting? And I know you may have seen something like this before, but the reality is you, me, we need to be reminded. I want to break you of the spirit of repetition. It's okay to be reminded. Romans 12:2 says that we are not conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewing of our mind. Romans 12:1, back up, says, Paul is pleading with you, says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. So I am beseeching you, brethren and sisterin, and I am pleading with you, asking you to wake up and see that if you're eating box foods, bag foods, bars, swap them to something more wonderful, like fresh fruit, nuts, homemade popcorn even, believe it or not. I know, I can't believe I said popcorn, but simple ingredients that have 5 ingredients or less, pasteurized raised eggs, leftover meats and breakfast, sourdough, breads made with 3 ingredients or less, sweet potatoes, squash, beef jerky, and meat that have only meat and salt in it. Because most beef jerkies out there, by the way, have bad oils and tons of sugar and dyes and all kinds of things that you don't want access to. Okay, so trust the process. And that's why I leave things on the list like popcorn, because if you do buy an organic popcorn, although it's probably GMO, so it probably should just be removed off the list, but it's 1 ingredient. So it technically would be better than you getting something that's got 27 ingredients it is a known coal tar derivative. Do you know what a coal tar derivative is? A coal tar derivative is oftentimes a product called thiamine mononitrate. That's another label ingredient you can put in the comments to remind yourself later. But That is a coal tar derivative. That's the same stuff that they patch your streets with when they do street repair. Don't think that's got the B vitamins you're after, folks. So it just synthetically is a molecular makeup and not something that we want to be putting in our body, expecting our body to use it well. Toxin number 2, artificial colors, found often in cookies, candies, cakes, ice cream, soda. If you want these dyes in your body, expect behavioral problems in your kids, expect focus problems in yourself, expect your body to be inflamed, your thyroid to burn out, and your belly to hurt. It's just the facts. If you eat these types of things, it's especially concerning for your brain. These emulsifiers, these sugar irritants, these gut bombs will blow up the microbiome and disrupt the good ecology, causing the parasites and yeast overload to make manifest and take you to the cleaners, eating all of your B vitamins, robbing you of all of your minerals. And how could you be healthy at that point in time? You can't. You can't. So if it has got these vibrant, big old colors, it's probably not something that you need to be consuming on the regular. Artificial dyes and colors are a real problem to our brain power. So if you want strong brains, get off the color at that level. This is not normal. This, however, is more normal and way healthier option. Make-believe food equals make-believe health. You guys have heard me say that a number of times. So if you're eating those colorful crazies, look at this colorful wonder. These are fresh, vibrant nutrients that will give you life, that will allow your mitochondria to fuel itself and to build itself up in such a way that you will feel good, live good, be good all the days of your life. And many of you guys know that I'm a big, carnivore participant. Not everybody is, for which why I teach people to still eat real food, meaning if it grows out of the ground, and if you know where it came from, even better, say your local farmers, your local co-ops that do crop sharing, you can get access to high quality, good fruits locally, and then you buy organic when you can at the store, fresh first, then frozen, organic before you buy commercialized food. And when you do this, you're able to have nutrient-rich food available for your body to repair itself and get things done for you and your well-being this year. This is exciting. Meat, vegetable, and fat. That's pretty much what you're after. If you're getting good protein, if you're getting a good veggie and healthy amounts of good quality fats, which we'll talk about in a bit, you will see your health thrive. You should just go 30 days and you should eat meat, vegetables, and fat 3 times a day. No other, packaged food, junk food, anything with a label more than 3 to 5 ingredients, and watch what happens to your health just through food. I've done this with so many people. I've done this with my own family. We obviously supplement where the weaknesses are. We know where those deficiencies are and those pitfalls are. And that's why you need a coach and somebody to help you. So it's not just, unfortunately, food alone, because there is soil issues and there is quality issues. And there's still, people confused on what real food is. But if you're eating make-believe food all the time and we make these switches to this real food, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get real health. You're going to see your body turn the corner and inflammatory disruption go by the wayside. Slow cooked meals, easy, rotisserie packed meals. And yes, I know you better check the ingredients because a lot of these ingredients have MSG and bad oils and all kinds of other stuff. So you want to try to find rotisserie chickens or make your own. I have an Insta oven at the house, and I'll throw a chicken in one of those baskets, or chicken legs or chicken wings in one of those little rotisserie baskets. And my goodness, it tastes awesome and it's easy. I set it and walk away. It's got a built-in setting on it. And you may not have that. But look, I'm also a guy that's on a budget, just like you. And so I am the carnivore guy that eats at the grocery store. I don't buy half a cow and stick it in my fridge. I don't have the ability, local farming, to tap into that all the time. So I go to the big box store. I'm doing it just like you are. And these are the things that I would tell you. You will get farther down the road eating a rotisserie chicken from your grocery store that has some junk in it than eating the candies, the cakes, the cookies, the ice creams, the cereals, the box food junk that is causing your body to basically deteriorate right before your very eyes. You're in the accelerated aging process. So don't knock the chicken for your health issues if you haven't gotten rid of the high food dyes, the high partial hydrogenated oil, the fake, artificial sugars. It's just silly to think that way. I had somebody reach out and say, I'm worried about all the vitamins you give me, and I'm thinking, and I'm worried about the amount of inflammatory food that you're eating. If you want a healthy brain, if you want healthy hormones, you got to get that under control. We have to stop picking on our ally when we got a toxic monster in our homes. And this is just in our food supply. Sheet pan meals, super easy to roast things, homemade soups, real food, digests cleanly and builds healthy mitochondrial activity. And one of the things I like about healthy mitochondrial function, when I think about your mitochondria and mine, is it produces cellular energy. The more cellular energy you have, the better your shield is, your immune system, the better your brain chemistry is, because you can manufacture the necessary neurotransmitters in your gut. Did you know that you have 3 million more neurotransmitters in your digestive tract than you do in your brain? And when you eat fake food, make-believe food, processed food, boxed foods, packaged foods, foods with a label that's 19 miles long, and or things that you can't even pronounce, you are dropping gut bombs in your digestive tract. And that gut digestive tract begins to deteriorate and it becomes leaky. And now even good food can be perceived as inflammatory. So don't knock the colorful vegetable or the healthy meat whenever your gut lining hasn't been addressed. Well, that's what our detox work is about. That's what my practice has been about. We go in and essentially ride down into your GI tract with you and help you find the inflammatory burdens, kick them out, find the bioburdens like parasites or fungus and kick them out. And then we start restoring good health back to your digestive tract as it was originally designed. And you will see your body from a blood sugar perspective, from headaches, anxiety, from memory loss, from that light sensitivity, that overstimulation, easily overwhelmed, irritated gut, to a place where you begin to find peace and balance and restoration and recovery. No more nausea after eating. No more dependency on antacids. No more wondering why you got to sip on that pink stuff all through the night to get through the night. You're not going to see the food allergies. They're going to melt away. You're not going to be shaky anymore after you're eating in between meals. You're not going to crash 90 minutes or 60 minutes after a meal because you're eating real food. And that is the plan. That is why we get this going. And I know some of you want to talk about it, and I'll go ahead and throw it out there. If you got belly fat, they call it Dunlop. Your belly is Dunlopped over your belt buckle. If you got muffin top, sorry to say, it can be addressed and handled, but you have to recognize and inspect the amount of toxins you're putting in your body, the amount of sugar you're putting in your body. Do you know that if we put sugar into our society today as a new substrate, a new substance, it would be a controlled substance? Because we have documentation I can send you. If you type in, sugar in the 146 ways that it can impact and ruin your health, I have a little PDF that you can look at and see all the different 146 ways that sugar wrecks and ruins your health. Just ask for it. We'll get it to you. If you have inflammatory processes in your body, like joint pain, muscle pain, sinus congestion, seasonal allergies, guess what? Your sugar, preservatives, processed food intake is too high. You've dropped gut bombs in. You've disrupted the cellular mitochondria. Those mitochondria cannot repair themselves. And that is, my friends, a sign of toxicity. So please be aware. You are in control. Oh my goodness. This is a topic of conversation. I have to buckle up for this one because toxic seed oils, common fake food oils known as con oil, not canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed, sunflower. These are oils that disrupt in metabolic health, that cause inflammation throughout your whole body, and it accelerates you on the accelerated aging curve. There's really nothing more to say. If you want to argue the point that you need a detox or not, and you're consuming these oils, you need a detox because they disrupt, guess what? Your liver. They congest your lymphatics for up to 6 months. Oh my goodness. Do you know how many of these oils are in your kids' fig bar? They're in their candy bars. They're in the cookies that they're getting in the lunch line, the fake pizza that they're buying, the hamburgers that they're buying at school. These oils are everywhere. If you go to a fast food chain, these are everywhere. If you go and pick up most sauces that are in most aisled grocery stores, notice they're in the aisles, although I have seen those sneaky folks putting them in the salad area for convenience, of course. But man, the salad dressings are chocked with these things. And if you want to have inflamed livers, if you want to have high blood pressure, if you want to have kidney issues, joint pain, if you want to get headaches, if you want to feel bloated all the time and sluggish in the morning when you wake up, then keep eating these oils. These oils are everywhere. They're in granola clusters. They're in protein cookies even. They're in quote unquote healthier options that are there. And I'm telling you, if you are eating out, either at a fast food joint or even a sit down, relatively nice restaurant, you'll be shocked at the amount of bad oil that is present in your food that you're ordering and paying good money for. And I know, nobody wants to hear this as a truth, but the absolute truth is seed oils and sugar. If we got those things out of your diet, you would see highly refined sugar oils gone and health dominance come online. You would need to see these sneaky oils. They're often called vegetable oils, otherwise relabeled as soybean or canola, vegetable oil blends, high oleic sunflower oil, expeller pressed canola oil, modified vegetable. If it's a spread, if it is a spread of butter, quote unquote, it ain't real. If it is not a stick of butter or a roll of butter like the Amish provide, your neural membranes are literally unraveling right before your eyes for every amount of consumption you put in. Your brain inflammatory engine just kicks on and you just runs, and it just completely oxidizes and heats the brain up. That is not good. That's why people freak out with fevers, by the way. And so you're putting in an oxidizing agent, causing your brain energy pathways to completely get out of sorts. And then what does that lead to? Well, that leads to anxiety, and that leads to depression. That leads to brain fog, where you walk into a room and you wonder, why did I come in here? Or I know that person, I just can't remember. It causes your brain literally to be less flexible, more inflamed, and on alert. This is why we've got to get the chips and the protein bars, the granola and the restaurant foods out, because fried, shelf stable, ultra smooth, assume that there's a seed oil in it. Okay. So I know I still got good patients that go to fried food joints and I'm shocked, but the truth be told is it's floating everywhere and we're all guilty of it. It's very difficult. We're living in a society that's not set up for you to be healthy, to stay healthy. But here's some clean swaps for you. Better fat swaps. That is label safe, okay? Olive oil, avocado oil, butter, ghee, tallow, and coconut. Tallow is beef fat. That's that fat that rises the night after you put your roast away. Ghee is clarified butter, meaning they take the butter and they process it just a wee bit more or churn it just a little bit more and pull off it, even any extra protein that might be present. But in butter, there's typically 0.067% casein, which allows butter to be safe, even if you're a dairy-free contender in my office. So people all the time mistakenly think no dairy, milk, cheese, yogurt, sour cream, ice cream, whey protein, creamer in your coffee are the avoids. And for some reason, they don't hear me say, exception, butter is okay, ghee is okay. And it is. And you just want to make sure you get a good, healthy, quality, organic version. So here's the simple rule, okay? If you don't know how to pronounce the words, if it wasn't around for the last 100 years, your body's going to struggle with it. I'm going to struggle with it. You're going to struggle with it. You're going to need to detox it. And so am I. So this is why we have to follow the green light rules. If you recognize every ingredient, step one, ingredients could exist. If the ingredients could exist in your kitchen and you could learn how to use them, then they're okay. Ingredient list fits on one line. When you see something that has parentheses and weird asterisks and, and there's dashes in the middle, you kind of have to question like, all right, that is a man-made laboratory ingredient. Fat sources are olive oil and butter and ghee, tallow, or coconut oil, avocado oil, even in some of the newer stuff. And if it's got protein heavy ingredients, things again that you recognize that had a mother or a father at some point, and you can go, yeah, I know what an egg is. I know what meat is. I know what chicken and turkey is. Read the label, but the shorter the label, the better the product. And look for ingredients, labels that organic or clean that you can trust. When you can stand behind a label, you could go do some research on a label and determine and decipher whether it's legit or not. You cannot buy into the lie that good marketing isn't trying to steal your dollars, because that's all it is. They want you to buy from them forever. So even healthy foods are oftentimes marketed as healthy when in fact they're not. So you have to understand the simple rules of engagement and play the game, and you will live better, be better, stay better. So good takeaway for tonight. You don't need to be perfect. I really want to get this to you. One pantry cleanup, one clean swap, one better choice, because it is your life, your health, your choice, and you will see lives changed, yours and those around you love dear. I promise you, making these little pantry cleanups and appreciating the message that I'm giving you tonight, even though it's like drinking from a fire hose, you can ask in the comments for some of our PDFs on the brain saboteurs. You can ask for our 146 ways sugar can wreck and ruin your health, and you can take the sugar quiz. We can give you toxicity questionnaires and get you enrolled in your own wellness journey by evaluating first. You cannot expect what you don't inspect. And at Dr. Chapa Wellness, I'm always teaching, coaching, developing people and practitioners to live better, be better, because I even see practitioners that don't apply this message. You don't need perfection. You need awareness. Get your kids involved in the program. The Home Wellness Factory Blueprint. This is a cool PDF that we can give you that will help you start your journey towards better pantries, better cupboards, better refrigeration, better frozen, better cooking styles. Remove the seed oils. Make protein the anchor of every meal, not just one, every meal, especially breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it needs to be the biggest, and it needs to be chock full of protein. Use only stable fats for cooking, and making sure that we're eliminating boxed, processed junk foods from our pantries. This is important. If it's got a package, oftentimes the label is going to be long, so pay attention. Read the ingredients. Don't get caught up in the marketing claims. Simplify the meals. Look for clean ingredients and try new things. When it calls for water, and you've got a healthy version of a good quality almond milk, use almond milk. I have a paleo powder that tastes like nothing, that is chock full, 95% of the amino acid of mother's milk. The amino acid profile is so rich, you can bake with it, you can sprinkle it on stuff, you can put it in soups, and you can get your children getting more rich nutrients into their body, which, by the way, will change their palate if they're a finicky palate, and they won't even know you're giving them anything off. It won't taste funny. It won't change the texture, nothing. And it is a great amino acid product that we use in our office that will help you be your best and stay your best in cooking. So like looking at, that simplifying that meal, or just restocking weekly with an intentionality of good foods on the perimeter. Why weekly? Because if you're buying real food, it might go bad. It doesn't have the preservatives. And you have to recognize that these little steps of change, although we've all heard them, we know them, we need to be reminded. And more importantly, we need to take a step forward and apply this message forward so that people are living better, being better every which way to Sunday. It is a daily act. It is an ounce of prevention that's worth a pound of cure. And here are your next steps. Small changes creates big health impacts. Join our guided self-care programs. We want to help you restore your health and rebuild your health from the inside out. All life starts and stops at the cellular level, and nutrition is the fundamental backbone. You have to eat real food to have real health. Understand this though. And the reason this message is so important, and I really want you to grab this. I said make-believe food is going to lead to make-believe health. And so what you eat is important, but what you don't eat is more important. So just taking these label ideas into your pantry and start turning things over, you'll be blown away by what you find. And then I want you to come back to this podcast and I want you to put in the comments, what did you throw out this week? 1 degree of change. What did you discover this week? 1 new idea. What did you apply with that new knowledge and from this talk tonight that's going to make this week, this month, this year better? Guys, I'm so excited to come to you each and every week with a new topic, a new talk, because I have a lot to say. And health and wellness is my jam. I love teaching people, and I would love to hear your stories. I'd love to know that you are applying this information. And if you have, real health challenges, our detox in a box at drchapawellness.com is a great place to start. Our office is providing a community of people that you can enroll yourself in to do programs like a detox, a gallbladder flush, liver flush, a sequential immune upregulation program. We can check and test your metabolism and find where your glitches are in the matrix. So I want to say first and foremost, thank you for sharing this message. And secondarily, I'm proud of you for stepping up to the plate and doing what you know you need to do to live your best, be your best day in and day out, because it is not easy out in that world. It is chocked full of garbage. It's chocked full of good marketing ideas to deceive you. But when you're hanging out with me, I'm going to constantly point you back to Christ the Lord. Food is medicine, and to be vigilant about what is coming across your palate. Without further ado, you guys be blessed. Know that I'm praying for you this week. May you go forward and do something amazing and trust that the Lord is shining his wonderful countenance upon you. And may you go out and be bright, and we'll check you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Remember, Dr. Chapa loves you.